Thanks to the support as a channel member, Tristan McDonald. Finishing touches are being made to our Champions League. I'm going to say it, Champions League winning squad. We're winning the Champions League this season. And I'm going to prove it by showing you my shiny new players and then going away to Paris Saint-Germain and thumping them. So first up, the transfers. You already knew one of them was coming in. Sven Veriga is here, a 22-year-old Croatian international, 4 stars of current ability, 4.5 stars of potential. Another legitimate elite player, an elite left winger, better than Esqueda. Mertens has also been upgraded to elite status as well. So we now have 3 elite players behind the European Golden Boy cost up front. That's quite the front four for a team like Wimbledon. And we've also signed a new right back. Kjell Rune Albinussen is a 22-year-old Norwegian international right back, much better than what we had there previously. As you can see, better than De Los Santos, who now becomes first reserve across the back four. He's in for £65 million from Al Riyadh, who signed him a year ago for £7.5 million from Bodo Glimt. We actually were aware of him then, couldn't get him until now. We've had to pay quite a lot to get him. And to fund those transfers, there have been more outgoings. It's mainly the players who caused a fuss because they weren't getting in the Champions League squad and weren't going to get in this one either. So again, you already knew Milos Lukic was leaving. He's gone to Monterrey for 25 million. We've also sold one of our Belgians, Massimo Girelli. Obviously, we don't need him. Now we've got the new left winger. He's gone to Paris Saint-Germain for 39.5 million. So a nice little double our money situation on him. Ramiro Herrera has gone to Anderlecht. I think he's probably at his level playing in the Belgian league. Again, we've made a nice little return on our investment. 8.5 million. Colon made nice money. We've made nice money. And he gets to go and play in the Europa League for the rest of his life and have a lovely old time. Ernesto Lira, our 20-year-old wonder kid Mexican centre-back, has gone out on loan to Club Bruges for the rest of the season. Maybe he'll go to the Chip Museum. Bruges is a great city. And we've sold one of our other young defenders, Enrique. It just didn't really work out for him. He's 21 years old now. He wasn't going to get in our team, so he went out on loan to Monaco last year. This year, we've sold him to Marseille. We've taken a slight loss on him, but nothing to get too upset about. And then Paris Saint-Germain have signed another one, Igor Tolmachev. We could potentially be facing both of these boys. I mean, they can't both play on the left wing at the same time, but we're playing Paris Saint-Germain now, but he's gone there for 22.5 million after barely playing for us. And again, we've turned a little profit on him. So we are still running at a transfer profit for the season. We are also a little bit overdrawn and over our budgets. So we're not going to be bringing in anybody new anytime soon, but the squad is certainly smaller than it was. Once Dante Cruz goes out on loan, we are going to be down to a 23-man squad, only 19 of which are in the Champions League squad. So we have got our third choice keeper, a couple of loanees, and poor old Jaramillo, who is going to become homegrown at club. He's happy to not be registered, so we're just going to leave him doing his thing to just become homegrown at club at the end of next season. We might not even be here by then, though, because the squad is looking very, very solid throughout. So there's Albinussen, our new right back, is in. Yes, we are a little bit light at attacking midfield. If anything happens to Mertens, Esqueda's going to have to play there in the Champions League because Dylan's not in the squad. But of course, Esqueda now arguably a backup with Veriga probably going to be starting on that left-hand side. We are also a little bit light at centre forward as well. We've only got Cost and Carlos. Now Herrera's moved on, but obviously Mertens and Yang can play there if needed. And we do still have Sebastian Klein, another of our young Belgians, who we're probably going to look to move on. I'd quite like to let Klein go and bring in someone who can play attacking midfield and striker, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that with 55% transfer revenue retained. That plan might have to wait for the summer. We're not going to win the league this year, which is probably the other piece of headline news. Newcastle are doing an invincible season and have won almost all of their matches. They're miles ahead of us. So are Manchester United. We should get into the Champions League again, and it's not really our priority anyway, as long as we get back into it or win it. And this is where we stand with 2 games of the group stage to go. We're 5th in the league. A win here against Paris Saint-Germain should secure us top 8. We've already secured the knockout rounds, as you can see. And this is the team we're sending to Paris to try and do that. We've got Drazic in goal, a back four of Lee, Vidal Santos, Sheerlink and Albanusin, Coppins and Mialescu, who is now a natural deep line playmaker, which is nice to see. £80 million, and he's finally the player we wanted. Esqueda on the left, Mertens in the middle, Yang on the right, and Kost up front. And there is your confirmation that he is now an elite attacking midfielder, not just an elite attacking midfielder, quickly becoming one of the best players in the Premier League. He is a permanent fixture in the Dream 11 now. Last time I checked, you didn't have to scroll to find him. You do have to scroll a little bit now, but he's very, very good. He's in central midfield in the Premier League Dream 11. That, to me, means he's quite a good footballer. Still very young, only going to get better. He won European Golden Boy last year. Kost has won it this year. And the Belgian takeover at Wimbledon continues. Although I guess we're now one Belgian down, and we've replaced him with a Norwegian and a Croatian. Still don't have a single English player in the squad. So that's probably something we do need to resolve. I tell you who would be handy. That English strike, was it Kasongo? Is that his name? He was so irrelevant, we barely used him. But the young homegrown at club striker who finished Premier League top scorer that first season, I've already forgotten his name. I'd quite like him back because I think he could probably be a third choice striker for us. And I'm sure we could train him to play attacking midfield as a third choice there as well. And obviously with him being homegrown at club, there are very few Wimbledon homegrown at club players who are good enough to even be a part of our squad. He'll never be good enough to start for us again. But if we can convince him to come back as a squad player, I don't even know where he went, but that might be a job for the summer. If we do find our Champions League run this year cut short by running out of players and it becomes clear we need to get some homegrown at club, he's likely to be top of our summer shopping list only a year after I sold him, when I probably shouldn't have done. Probably should have had a little bit of more forethought there, but I'm a silly goose. What are you going to do about it? I'm never going to stop being a silly goose. It's what makes me so alluring. It's why you love me. Right, Mertens. Mertens has just been tackled, which you don't see very often. Yang comes back and wins the ball back for him, and now Coppins out to Esqueda, who's playing for his spot in the team, and Mertens this time, beautiful ball over the top. Kost is in, and what a finish from Alain Kost. I mean, for all the world, it looked like he was playing that across goal. He sold it to the Paris Saint-Germain keeper as well, and then just poked it under him. It's absolutely beautiful from Kost, but he's only in that position because of this first time stunner of a pass from Mertens. And what a partnership these two young boys are producing for us. And it's Paris Saint-Germain 0, Wimbledon 1. Balls to what's going on in the Premier League, that Champions League table where we invariably play our best 11. We rotate a lot in the league. That Champions League 11 being there shows just how good we are. If it's just first choice 11s versus first choice 11s and everyone gets to stay fit, we win the Champions League this year. And not only this year, but for years to come, because that front four, they've got a combined age of 80 between four players, or 85. They're so young. Average age is like 20, 21 amongst all of the front four. And Mertens, with the outside of his foot, nearly scores another Champions League worldie. The man is absolutely stupendously good. I think we've got a Kevin De Bruyne regen. There's Mertens again trying to slide it through to Kost. Kost now shooting from range, and unfortunately not able to keep it down. But Mertens, once again, man of the match performance from him in the Champions League. He doesn't even need to do it in the Premier League, which is why we only play him in half the games in the Premier League. The other Dutch fella, his loanee understudy, plays far more than him. Right, Girelli has just come on, who of course we've just sold to them. Where's he playing? Or was he on from the start? And they've taken him off at half time. That's even more fun. There was definitely mention of him. It doesn't look like he was involved. Was I looking at my own squad there? Why can't I see him? But we've obviously just sold him to them, and I don't think he's on the pitch. But Yang is in behind. Kost misses a big chance. I mean, he's had some opportunities today to do football goals for us. Girelli was on. There you go. He was taken off at half time. That, I think, and if there were any Wimbledon fans who were concerned at us selling one of our talented young Belgians, the fact that he lasted a half and was taken off because he was owned by our new right back, who we had to sell Girelli to fund the purchasing of him. I think that shows, once again, Kev was right. Right, we're going to bring Verriga on, and Esqueda's going to drop into the Mertens position, and then Carlos can come on for Yang, and Kost can move out to the right. And this is why Klein may as well leave, because he doesn't even come on in these circumstances as the first choice. And Feliao can come on, who has complained a little bit that he wants to play more football. So we probably do need to play him a little bit more often in the Premier League, because that's the only football that counts when players have a little complain about that kind of thing. Right, Coppens is tired as well, so we're going to take him off and bring on Jihan. And then for the final change, we've got defenders. Lee could come off. I think Lee's the obvious one to come off. And De Los Santos, already slotting into his new role as first reserve across the back four, means Asghari basically doesn't do that role anymore. And in fact, thinking about it, when it comes to re-register, I think we get one more opportunity at the end of the window to re-register the Champions League squad. I might take Asghari out and put the other Belgian attacking midfielder, whose name is it's gone. But the one who's here on loan, we might bring him into the squad just so we've got a proper backup to Mertens in the squad. Then at least we have one player of backup in every position then, which is probably a useful situation to be in. Right, Albenussen plays it across to Jihan, who gives the ball away. It's a really heavy touch from him. And he's probably the only survivor now from that first full season that we had, albeit still on loan, back on loan, wasn't here for a year, but the team has changed a lot from when he first arrived at Wimbledon. I imagine he doesn't recognise much of what's going on around him. Things have moved very fast here, and we are trying to hold on to our 3 points, but Paris Saint-Germain very much knocking on the door. But luckily, they're not very good at shooting. They've had one shot on target. To be fair, we've only had 2. It's been a pretty disappointing game in front of goal from both teams, but importantly, we've come away with the 3 points, and that should qualify us for the top 8, I think. I think that qualifies us for the top 8. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, I don't think it does. So we'll show. I was going to jump straight into that next knockout round, but in fact, I'll show you the Porto game. Just a rubber stamp top 8, fingers crossed. Transfer shenanigans continue. We've signed a midfielder on loan from Real Madrid. Guess what? He's Belgian. I'm not even doing it on purpose. They're just all Belgian. He is yet another Belgian attacking midfielder, but he can also cover defensive midfield, right wing. So just a handy backup to have. I don't anticipate using him very often. He's not going to go in the Champions League squad, but for the Premier League, with the squad getting quite small, he is handy to have around. And the squad is getting smaller because Sebastian Klein, one of our other Belgians, has now left the club. He's gone to Guingamp in France on loan, but with an option of them making the loan permanent. There you go, optional future fee at 26 million. So he's gone out to make way for Sanchez. We are also still trying to secure a loan for Dante Cruz, who was out on loan back in Argentina at Boca Juniors for the first half of the season. He's now returned to us, and as you can see, quite a lot of Europe is after having him on loan for the rest of the season. All of these have got optional future fees included in them as well. If we do, or regardless of what happens with Cruz, we are tempted to try and bring in a striker, because now that we've got Sanchez in, the squad is full all the way through and looking very, very solid. We've got 3s everywhere as our minimum, but we are probably one striker short of where I'd want to be. If we got an injury to Kost or Carlos, we have a bit of a problem. So we might yet do one more piece of business, but first let's secure our spot in the next round of the Champions League. And here's your demonstration of what happens when you get any injury in the attack. We don't have a striker on the bench today because Yang's injured. So Kost moves out to the right. Carlos starts, no striker on the bench. That's not ideal when you're trying to win the Champions League. So we probably do need one more, but it's Drazic in goal, a back four of Lee, Vidal Santos, Sheerlink and Albenussen, Coppens and Mayalescu in midfield, Esqueda, Mertens and Kost behind Carlos up front. We want to get the job done early and then get some of our better players off the pitch to rest them. We have now made the shuffly changes to the Champions League squad. So Dylan, the backup Belgian attacking midfielder, is in the squad now, as is Coppin, who is the our backup defensive midfielder who's also in on loan. We've taken Asghari out of the squad, and of course Klein has moved on as well. So it was just 2 in, 2 out, and no room for Sanchez, the new midfielder from Real Madrid, because of it, because we brought those 2 back in instead. So even if we do bring in a striker, it's going to be on a similar deal, similar basis to what we've done with Sanchez. Backup, not really with any expectation of being in the Champions League. If it's a loan, it's a loan. I'm not bothered about that. I did make an inquiry to Atletico about Kasongo, who's only played 8 games for them, so I thought we might have a chance of bringing him back. They want 160 million for him, so I don't think we're going to be bringing him back, and he's the only homegrown at Wimbledon player in the entire database who's got more than 2 stars of current ability, according to our scouts. Really shouldn't have sold him, but not a lot I can do about it now. Carlos is in after a beautiful through ball from Mertens and tries to dink it over the keeper. Can't quite get it back down again quick enough, and it remains 0-0. And as it stands at the moment, as you can see, we are second only to Barcelona in this Champions League table, although we are in the Tuesday night batch of games, so we'll probably move down once Wednesday night has happened as well. But of course, we'd also like to win the football match, and you know, top eight's all we really care about. We don't care where in the top 8 we are. And Mialescu, by the way, now he's natural as a defensive midfielder. I don't know if it's just in my head. I suspect it's not. Now he's a natural defensive midfielder. He's playing like an £80 million midfield player. What a goal from Mertens again. This might be disallowed, but it shouldn't be because it's just such high quality. But yeah, Mialescu, we spent 80 million on him because we knew how good he was going to be. It is disallowed. Poppycock. Poppycock. You allow this kind of finish. Come on, let's see. I mean, he's miles offside, but stunning finish. We'll put it in his highlight reel anyway. Yeah, Mialescu, £80 million. It's taken him a year to learn to play as that deep line playmaker in our system, but now he can. He's playing like £80 million worth of talent. And it's just one of those really annoying football manager things you get where he's a natural central midfielder, but oh no, can't play defensive midfield. Just like how you get the left winger who can't play left midfield, the right back who can't play right wing back. It's even silly that you've got right backs who can't play left back. These are the things I would love to see fixed for FM24, but you know me, I don't like to moan, and I'm not ever likely to make demands. Did I say FM24? I mean FM26. This is FM24. FM25 is one that didn't happen. FM26, that's the one that I hope they fix that kind of thing on. Right, Cost to Esqueda. And now Cost again tries to dance into the area, hands it off to Mertens, who's a much better dancer. Mertens, Vidal Santos is probably not the man we wanted to have the ball there. And then Coppens, the unsung hero, the club captain, the ball-winning midfielder, yet another Belgian, but just keeps things ticking over at the base of the midfield. And one of the most important signings we've made, because he's just no nonsense, keeps things nice and tidy for us, and allows the players around him, like Mertens, like Mialescu, like the wing-backs, to play, because they know Coppens is going to be there, protecting them. That being said, we have now gone 1-0 down at home, and maybe our Champions League dreams are a little bit ambitious. Because, I mean, we're not going to get knocked out here. We're still in the competition regardless. It could lead to us not getting into the top 8, but even that we're looking pretty solid for. But it does raise a little bit of doubt that we might not have that oomph you need and that squad depth more than anything that you need. I mean, the only potential game changer we've got is Veriga, so we're going to bring him on. And then Dylan can come on. And, I mean, do we play him or Mertens out wide on the right? I think we probably move Mertens out there, which might be a little bit of a waste of Mertens. But then we've got no more attacking players. So there's not really anything else to change. We can swap the 2 central midfielders. We can change a defender. But we're like 2 players short on the squad. And we can't do anything. Jaramillo becoming homegrown at club allows us to get 1 more player. But he's going to be at an expense of a defender. It'll be De Los Santos who misses out, I imagine. He's not, I mean, how have they kept that out? De Los Santos has got 18 months before he's moved on, and Jaramillo replaces him as the utility defensive cover. And that then gives us an extra player we can use somewhere else. But even then, we're going to be short. Squad registration nonsense. Right, we're changing the midfield because they're broken. And then Mertens is also tired. We don't have anyone who can come on for him, so he's just going to have to stay on and like it. Yeah, they're all playing in the right spots, but having to run Mertens into the ground in a situation like this is a long way from ideal. I guess we'll go attacking. We'll demand more. We've been the better team. We just haven't found the finish, which is frustrating because we've scored so many goals this season. We're good at doing goals. We've just not been good at it today. And we've had some good chances as well. Dylan, back to Vidal Santos. And now Shearlink, who of course was part of that Blackburn team last year that ended up almost on 0 points at the end of the season. I think it ended on like 3 points. Oh, that's such a big chance again. We have had so many chances to win this football match. We're going very attacking. Look at the state of those match stats. I mean, I guess that's the thing. That's the only thing that makes me feel a little bit better. We've definitely been FM'd. And we've still managed to find the equaliser. So I guess it's not all bad. We're going to stay on attacking. We probably don't need to be on very attacking, but we'll stay attacking. We will try and get a winner. And we're still going to demand more because we definitely should be winning this game. If somebody could step up and grab us a winner, that would be super duper, but it doesn't look like we're getting another highlight. Those match stats are absolutely infuriating, but we're through. We should end up top 8 because that's the Premier League table. There you go. We are trying to teach cost to play as an attacking midfielder. We've qualified for the last 16. I think we're still going to qualify for the top 8. We're just going to go forward a day. We're just going to rest the boys. We'll go forward and let the Wednesday night matches be played. And then I think we should secure that top 8 spot, which of course is a bye through to the next round. Right. Do I want to record any of these loans? No, I don't. They can all stay out on loan. These guys can go on loan. I mean, did I really just downgrade Mertens? And he's agreed to it. I mean, the man's lost his mind. We've given him a lovely new contract, but he's agreed he's just an important player. That's bonkers. Shows the strength in depth we've got, I guess. Come on, everyone. Just do as you're told. We've just got one player who's got a grumpy on. Asghari, we might let go on loan if someone wants to take him, because he is going to be left out of this squad. He could use the game time. If someone wants to take him on loan, we'll, as long as they pay his salary, we don't mind players leaving on loan. Just continue to shrink down the squad. Why not? In fact, let's get Klein down into the under-21s so I forget he exists. So the squad is 23 players. Dante Cruz is already in the under-21s because he's as good as gone. So if Asghari goes as well, that's a squad of 22. And then with 3 of which are goalkeepers, but we are looking to bring in a striker with the money, but we'll wait until deadline day for that. We just want the confirmation that we've finished top 8. We have. Huzzah. So the next episode will be you meeting the new striker. And then I think it's the last 16 of the Champions League that we get through to from here. Oh, hello. We've got goalkeeper problems. Glisovic. I mean, he's the backup goalkeeper. I don't want to have to deal with goalkeepers now. There you go. He's dropped it. Excellent. Right. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to my beautiful Patreons for their ongoing support. And thank you very much for watching.